Your continued support of the CryptoQ Media channel is much appreciated. Greetings all postponed throughout the whole season. The cancellation of XRP 4 years ago was spot on, and we have every single season of that show. Ethereum and Litecoin are both set to sell. DeFi summer and alt season was supposed to take place in July 2020, and DeFi coins were going crazy during that time. However, we had this discussion on the Trust Wallet community page regarding the cancellation of the entire season. All 100 most popular cryptocurrencies share Bitcoin's declining value and lack of activity. You are aware that there has been very little progress. A single ancient coin with printing in the double digits is showing up in the 7-day gainers. This becomes rather entertaining when we discuss old coins because we're not talking about, say, 12% changes in 7 days, we're talking about 120% changes in the last 7 days. Let's be honest, getting into crypto is easy, but coming up with a plan to get out is next to impossible. To help you out with any Bitcoin position you may have, I have provided a free exit strategy. The nicest part is that it doesn't cost a dime. To get it, just click the link below the description. So, what's the hold-up? Profits might be in your pocket at this very now. This is because we are still waiting for Bitcoin's next move and are still involved with it. On this, the last day of Bitcoin trading, a floor is being formed, and the price has risen significantly by 64 points, or around 5,000. There is still ground to cover before we can cross over in terms of Bitcoin's possible breakthrough. I know I've stated this before, but Bitcoin is doing nothing right now, it's simply chopping. Take a look at its performance over the last month, year, and all the way back to March. At this time, that is it, since we are still awaiting a major development. All coins are feeling the strain as Bitcoin goes through these huge price spikes, both up and down. Plus, guess what? Preserving the value of antique coins is essentially all there is to it. XRP is a great example of this. This chop has led to the massive undervaluation of numerous old currencies, including Hbar, Cspr, QNT, and innumerable more. The top 500 nevertheless had decent gains last week, so it's worth taking a look at them. Nonetheless, this is nothing in comparison to the off-season. Gains of 100% or more in a single day are anticipated, just like in the off-season. Reiterating this probably isn't necessary. On the same day, the value of some antique coins can increase by a factor of 10. Wow, that's really absurd. A considerable amount of work remains. Plus, almost everyone is saying the same thing. Bitcoin will be unable to circulate among all coins due to the fact that Bitcoin ETFs are restricting investment choices. There have been a lot of gloomy reports going around recently, claiming that this season will be significantly worse than the last. As if that weren't enough, this is another proof that we're in for a long season, possibly the longest in our history. A lot of chaos, sell pressure, chop, surrender, and shakeout might be in store for Bitcoin at the moment, though, if we look at it closely enough. Once again, there has been zero change on this Bitcoin chart. Being back in the 63 point, roughly 4 kilogram zone for an entire week was a delight. Since volatility is likely to rise during these moves, I was trying to use tight stop losses to my advantage once again. This is still somewhat discernible even after 4 hours, isn't it? There wasn't a powerful position that could handle everything, and it's almost nothing. A vast void that exists. You can think of it as nothing more than a zigzag. Waiting for it to do anything else is all there is to it. All we're doing is chopping. We are anticipating a substantial improvement or, conversely, a substantial decline. By taking this course of action, we know we are heading in the correct way. But I will say this on the day span as well as the 3D span, something seems to be starting to form on this graph, doesn't it? Presented here is this exquisite low. This low, which happens to be a macro lower low, is what we're talking about here. Although this higher low is great for now, it won't be around for much longer. More importantly, at least on a macro level, it appears like we might be reforming a higher low. This is the point where we expect Bitcoin to ultimately reach its all-time high, which is 74,000. Nonetheless, we might be on the verge of constructing a floor here, expecting a substantial increase. From my vantage point, the altcoin market is going to be rocked by the next Bitcoin surge. What I mean is that, in comparison to Bitcoin, the value of some earlier coins will probably start to decline. The fundamental rationale behind my assertion is the astronomical popularity of Bitcoin. Once again, we have one that has been chopped. Since, come on, this was a chop-like upward price movement during all of 2023 and 2024. Additionally, it has been relatively weak. In all candor, I propose that we begin in April. We finally reached 57% because of this last major surge. The market momentum is typically weak, and there have been fewer robust impulsive advances to the upside. From there, things begin to decline. Before we know it, the whole structure will crumble to dust. Although it will require some time, we are keeping a careful eye on this matter. Nevertheless, I expect a decline until we see Bitcoin's next major impulsive move. While we wait, we might see a minor surge in Bitcoin dominance to back that move. At the same time, the price of Bitcoin is still rising, isn't it, between $80,000 and $12,000? In my opinion, Bitcoin's market share will keep falling. Just like in June, July, and August of 2023, I expect the other dominance charts to undergo a substantial impulsive movement during this time. Altcoins began to stir about that period, albeit they weren't particularly noteworthy. And then the off-season began in earnest in December 2020. Hence, I am waiting for that with great patience. For the time being, I'm focusing on the XRP Bitcoin pair, the QNT Bitcoin pair, and the Cspr Bitcoin pair because they all effectively show us the same thing in terms of other dominance. Bitcoin and the XRP Hbar have both hit their trendline macro bottoms. From here, they are just choppy as they wait for an impulse move up. Although Bitcoin's strength is possible in the near future, I continue to believe that its weakness is imminent, perhaps within the next week or two. Next, we'll examine QT and Cspr in greater detail. They're presently going through what seems like an infinite downward spiral. One thing to remember is that a lot of these charts, like XRP or even Hbar, show a massive decline that appears to go on forever until it unexpectedly finds support, with a small range appearing at the bottom. An abrupt ascent follows tremendous buildup of suspense. On QNT, and in Cspr, we are now expecting that. Outside of this, there are a few more things I would like to talk about. Credible Crypto includes me, and that's only a small sample of my posts. Finally, our most recent bold move boosted our worth by 35,000 in little over 2 months. Going forward, we should make even bolder bold moves. The current price on the market is 64K. There are around 6 months left until the year comes to a close, and our next wild move could take us above 100,000 in just 30 days. Determine it independently. There is no further video after that. If you find my channel entertaining, please subscribe. Arriving soon, goodbye.